Of course, Elon Musk, the guy who's planning on buying Twitter and then making excuses why he can't, but then because of the contract he signed, he can't pull out. So now he's kind of forced to buy Twitter. And now he's saying that if he buys Twitter, if it goes through, it kind of seems like he's forced to. Who knows where he's getting the money from, considering he's been pretty pro-Putin. You know, he's been on the side of Putin recently. He stops, pretending to pay for Starlink for Ukraine. Not that he was paying for it anyway. And saying many other things that seem to be on the side of Putin. Maybe he's getting some money from good old Russia to pay for this, to fund this. But his plans, Elon Musk's plans, are to lay off 3/4 of the employees that work for Twitter. Now, I don't know any business ever that would be improved by laying off 75% of the employees. And what I'm noticing currently on Twitter, a trend I've noticed and seen kind of similar things mentioned by other people, but what I've specifically noticed is that my timeline is pretty regularly flooded with tweets from popular conservative accounts that I do not follow. I am, for some reason, being shown tweets from accounts I don't follow that all seem to be conservative. So I've spent a lot of time on Twitter just blocking accounts. I mean, in every social media platform that I am involved with, when there are people like these snowflakes that I had to give the trigger warning for in order to make sure they don't cry in my comments, I regularly block people. If you make yourself known as somebody that supports fascism on any level, white supremacy, just conservative, Christian nationalism, there's so many different aspects of the toxic side of our society that I will effortlessly block. So when I see those tweets show up on my timeline, I have to block them because I don't want them showing up, right? I'm not going to go on their post and cry about it like the snowflakes do in my content. They will make sure to make a point to tell me how stupid I am or how my opinion is wrong. I mean, even in this very specific post that I'm talking about Elon Musk laying off 75%, this is probably the most popular thing I've done on Instagram in my entire career on Instagram, are people commenting on my opinion of this, about how it feels like he is gift wrapping Twitter for Russia, right? Because he's not spending his own money to buy this. He doesn't actually, all of his money is tied up in stocks for SpaceX and Tesla and all of his things. He's not like liquid with his money. His $1 billion isn't just waiting for him in some giant safe that he can dive off of a diving board and swim in like Scrooge McDuck. So he's borrowing money from people to make this purchase, right? And then he will owe those people money. And considering the fact that he has been pretty pro-Putin recently, maybe he's getting some of that money from Russia. Maybe he's getting some of that money from China. I don't know all of the countries that are in support of Russia, but I would imagine that would make sense considering his strong opinions that he's had recently. And when you let 75% of your business go, there's going to be a lot of quality assurance problems, right? Imagine if he fired 75% of Tesla. I wouldn't want to drive a Tesla, right? There's a reason those people were employed and now they're all gone. So like 25% is going to somehow magically do 3 times the work. 4 times the work? I don't think so. I don't think so. It feels like it's there's a reason why he's paying $44 billion for it, and it's not to be a successful social media account. It's probably to sell everybody's data to the highest bidder, whoever is willing to give him the money. So I know there's been some articles out there, which I have not read, but I've seen people's responses to these articles, and their responses tend to be, you should probably consider moving your audience off of Twitter, moving your information, your sensitive information off of Twitter, doing all of those things before he purchases the company, because that's what it seems like he's going to be forced to do, since he was unsuccessful at pulling out of not only this business deal, but also clearly unsuccessful at pulling out of his sexual encounters as well. Being the father of so many illegitimate children, Elon Musk is absolutely horrible at pulling out of things. So he seems to have not been able to pull out of this deal like he wanted to, and he's going to be forced. And it seems like that money is coming from somewhere, and it doesn't seem like this is a company that's going to be valued as a functioning business. It's probably going to be valued as something much different. And it's so crazy, the Elon Musk simps that are like, oh, he's rich, so he must know. Or the people that are like, good. That's what he wants. He's spending $44 billion on Twitter to destroy it, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, he's supposed to be a smart guy. At least that's what all of his simps think, that he's like, because he's rich, he must be a genius, right? They just buy that term. Not that he's ever done anything actually good for society. Like, he could effortlessly, the money he's spending on Twitter, right, which so many people seem to hate and are fine with it being destroyed, he could use a fraction of that money to alter the lives of every single American for the better, right? He could really do good things, right? But he wants to spend his energy and money on buying a social media platform that so many people that support him don't like anyway, or think that he's going to magically turn it into something that's good. Twitter is just kind of fine where it is, aside from the fact that I'm being flooded with tweets from accounts that I never followed and are clearly opinions that are not even related to the accounts that I do follow. So it's not even like recommending me pertinent information or accounts like, oh, you're into art and podcasting and movies. Here's this Christian nationalist post you might like. Makes no sense. So Elon Musk laying off 75% of people, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So as I've been warned, I will pass it on to those who, if you care, maybe think about an exit strategy. Make sure you know, who know, I've been on Twitter for 14 years, I think. That's a lot of stuff on there, but I don't know if I have any real, definitely some like hot takes over the years, that's for sure. There's probably a lot of things that I would disagree with me saying today. I've definitely evolved as a person over those 14 years. So somebody digging up a 10-year-old tweet, I would probably not have the same support for what I had, my opinion back then. You know, maybe an episode of this show I would have had a different opinion, because I grow and I change. Anybody that has the exact same opinion for their entire life is somebody that's shown they don't grow, they don't learn, they don't change. But I think I've grown in a good place. I care about people. I don't value businesses or billionaires. I don't value wealthy people as if they are better in some way, and I don't put blame on people who are poor and struggling with the label that they're lazy. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. that people who are poor are labeled as lazy. Like, people that say the majority of the country is lazy is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. The majority of people who are lazy are those in management positions and leadership positions. People who are struggling to pay bills are working their asses off. It's just the system is rigged against them. Rigged against them. Socialism exists for the billionaires and millionaires and corporations. They get free government handouts constantly. And the everyday person is demonized for accepting just pennies. And we see that also with what's happening with the student loan forgiveness thing. Anyway, Elon Musk, horrible person. Twitter going down. Think about your exit strategy. Just give me an example of a company that laid off 75% of their employees and it was a good thing. That, like, made it a better company somehow. Don't think there's an example of that.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.